Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Tuesday, the 30th of July. Well, I've recorded two videos. If you listen to this one, the first one didn't work. So what I've had 11 pence each way, lucky 31, and I've had oddments about I think it's about a 30 pence each way accumulator. So I think it's very interesting at Goodwood on Tuesday, and I have got the odd selection. Well, I've got one selection at Beverley. So let me talk you through it. So the first selection is Killybegs Warrior in the 150 at Goodwood, paying six places instead of four. I thought this was a decent shout for an outsider, and I shall explain in a minute. But I've left it to SB because it was 18 to 1 on the Racing Post site. It was 11 with Sky Bet. So I've left it to SP. I think Killybegs Warrior has absolutely hated running on the good to soft ground on the last few occasions it has done. It has got form on faster ground. Actually, I was looking at the relatives of this horse, and there is some relatives in the bloodline that have actually won at Goodwood as well. And I mean, relatively high profile wins, as in like decent handicaps and above. I think Killybegs Warrior, with cheek pieces on for the first time tomorrow, it does tend to favour higher numbers. I think because I think sometimes the lower numbers can get crowded out because they're all jostling for position, and the lower numbers get shuffled back because the higher numbers are intent on getting a good position. Well, this horse is drawn. I think it's drawn six, which is okay because I do believe it will probably be close to making the running. Um, I think it's Kevin Stott on board. Kevin Stott never rides a winner for me. I'm telling you that now. That's not an excuse. I'm just letting you know he never rides a winner for me. He's got cheap pieces for the first time. I think he'll appreciate the quicker ground. And Mark Johnston used to be unbelievable at this course. The horse didn't even have to have form in the past for him to have placed prospects, or well, not prospects, placed horses. I think this one will be up there. I was looking at a lot of the form, and there's a lot of decent horses in here, but it's hard to work out whether they are milers or 1 mile 2 performers. There are a lot of horses that are disappointed over a mile, but still haven't proved themselves over 1 mile 2. There are horses that are running well, but must improve further to outrun the handicap mark. So the second selection is Irv at 9 to 2 in the 10 past 2 at Beverley, paying four places instead of three. This horse made the running last time, and I think if Becky Smith goes to the front, or at least no worse than the first three, I think she can outride a fellow female jockeys, but also, what do you call it? Out tactic. That's not the word, but how outmaneuver. You know, I think I think she's one of the smarter jockeys. She's very experienced. Um, Outmaneuver. So I think she'll be prominent throughout, and I think she'll kick with probably two or three to go, and you'll see all the other women that can't ride rowing for their lives and hopefully not making any progress. The third selection is Novello. I've left the price in the 10 past 4 at Goodwood, paying five places instead of three. The reason why I've gone for this one is because, well, this isn't the reason why, but I've actually tipped this horse quite a while ago when I think it won at Epsom. It was 25 to 1 on the day, I believe. And it was a crack. I think it was the Epsom Dash. It was just behind the pace, travelling okay, just being nudged to keep up with the pace. And then I think it was David Egan, kept rowing it, and it like gradually got to the front and like won on the line. I think this horse, I don't think there's that kind of like class in this race today. I think the George Bowie stable are very good at getting horses ready for these big meetings. I do believe it'll be up there throughout, and I think it's good enough to take this race. It's another one of the horses where I think it was 14s or 16s, but with Sky Bet it was only 11s. That's why I've left the price. The fourth selection is Aris SE at 9 to 2 in the 520 race at Goodwood, paying five places instead of three. So this kind of goes against really why I went with Killybegs Warrior, because Aris SE has got, I think it's drawn three, but it's a held up performer. So I need James Spencer not to be some kind of like the jockey of Arazzi and think he can just sit in last place. from having a low draw. What he needs to do is he needs to be no worse than mid-division, in my opinion. I think the bookies seem a bit afraid of this horse because I think it's a lot shorter than it should be. But I don't think it'll get much bigger, if you know what I mean. I think the bookies are concerned that this is probably we've not seen the best of this horse this year up until maybe this race. I think it's probably Jamie Spencer's to throw away. Don't get me wrong, it's a competitive race, but I do think he's on a very decent horse that is well handicapped. And finally, Miss Bodacious at 9-2 in the 5.55 at Goodwood, paying 5 places instead of 3. Its last run was a little bit disappointing, but I think you can excuse it because Newmarket's a funny track. I think the horse won there the time before, so there's not too many excuses about the track, but it ran over 7 furlongs last time, and I think it was far too keen. It was messing around, I think the horse was. It was having a laugh. It was too keen, going like over racing. It was over an extra furlong, and basically it died to death. It stopped in its tracks once it met the hill because it had like reefed away too much, and then all of a sudden it got to the hill and it stopped. So I think Miss Bodacious at 9-2. I think this 6 furlong is ideal for it. It does need to settle more, but maybe the run over 7 furlongs was just to maybe freeze its handicap mark because they knew it wouldn't stay 7 furlongs. It was just a run. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it was just a bad run. I don't know. But Miss Bodacious, I think there's still room for improvement. And it did a Racing Post rating of 90, and I think it's still only rated either 82 or 84. So it has performed above its official rating. So, in my opinion, there's still room for improvement. It's only ran, I think, 4 times as well. So those are the selections for Tuesday. So if you can give me a like or a subscribe or share, but nobody shares things, do they, when it comes to racing, really, especially tips. So give me a like if you will, please. So I really appreciate it. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.